If it came out today, it would be like, I want to sing about misogyny.
Oh. I want to shave with Gillette.
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And that's how me rewatching the Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows gave me testicular cancer. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. No, give it another chance. It'll be great.
I'm so sorry we advised you to like it. At one point in my life, it was important. I'm sorry about your testes.
Oh, God.
I'm going to Lance Armstrong this bitch.
We did tell you.
Casey's going to power through.
He's going to ride a bike around town having people pump their blood into him.
Ew. Ew, that got dark.
I thought I was just going to take steroids and people were going to take all my trophies away.
Oh, shit.
Well, it was blooding. Or bloodlet or whatever
This
it
is
was.
already Casey's episode.
Yeah. Shit.
We're not fucking coming back from that. Well, anyway, how's it going, everybody? This is Beacon House Podcast. You guys may or may not realize, well, if you clicked on this, you probably realize it's fucking episode 50. That's a big one for us.
Mailbag number 5.
That's
what, 2 away from our year?
2 away from a year.
I guess, technically. I think we actually started earlier because we did a couple that never came out that may one day come out or something. So
but
we're right at a year. We're getting close to a year.
Yeah, a year is in like 2 weeks. So that does pan
You
out.
know what? I know a year is fucking 52 weeks. Okay, you guys are like, you Spencer, do you know how many weeks are in a year? I fucking know. I just think,
Actually, if you guys remember, no one will ever hear it, but our first episode was the day after the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl was very recent. So
that's right.
We all watched the Cloverfield Paradox.
and then we did some movies. We did a couple movie review ones. That's right. Okay.
Hey, let us know in the comments if you ever want to fall asleep listening
I feel like
to those dirt
I want
bags.
to, all right, so
We'll save that for Patreon.
I've been going back and listening to all of our old episodes because I've been gathering a little game I want to play with you guys for our live
excited
show,
for that.
which, by the way, February 13th, Central Depot, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Hot dog.
Be there. And going back, our
That's
first...
From when you're hearing that, that's like less than a week. So get your ass. It might be today if it's Wednesday. Drive there now. We're there waiting. We're waiting on you. Get there.
But I found it interesting that the amount of growing we did from like episode 1 to episode 20.
Are we big boys now?
Well, just like
Fucking I am. What do you think I've been on this diet?
At episode 1, we were very just rambling, and I don't know. It just seems like we've done a lot of growing. So now going back and listening to episodes before episode 1 even came out,
Painful.
I'm concerned that the Cloverfield Paradox and the Ritual movie review episodes are not going to be great.
Well, here's a thing that happens. There's a thing that happens where like once you hear yourself, then you learn. It's just like the same reason athletes watch tape of their things or performers watch themselves perform. You can't just go, yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good. Like you got to go back and review. Yeah. When you hear yourself a little bit, you go, oh, it sounds dumb when I say that. Or even if you're not trying to like edit yourself, you get better by. We've heard ourselves do fucking 50 episodes now, So
I'm real bad with I keep saying I'm
real bad with and again.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And again, and still, and again, and still, and again.
I'm just bad about rambling.
You beat around the bush hardcore.
Yeah, I do.
Like you go around the subject and then you come to the subject.
I circle it.
I really like the way you guys. I'm most critical of myself. I think you guys sound.
That's not even
I
just
think the
when
reason
we're
Hunter
recording
does it is it's surgical. He goes around it while he thinks about what he wants to say, and then he strikes.
Yeah, I'm thinking out loud, but I'm making sure I'm backing my shit up before I jump in there.
I get it. Well, guys, so we're sticking with tradition. We're gonna go ahead and answer some questions for you guys. Now, we didn't have time to do a meetup. Usually, we do a big meetup before one of these kind of things, and we get everybody together.
Busy.
It's been so busy planning the live show and getting things. We it's just been a lot going on. So we're still going to answer questions, which I think hopefully the reason people like the mailbag episodes is the spontaneous nature of them. So we have to kind of think on our feet. Mm-hmm. Maybe the whole podcast is like that. I don't know. Either way. So what we've got a couple questions that people actually sent in, and we're going to address those first. And then, and this may suck, I apologize if this is terrible, but I ordered a special deck of cards, and it's actually supposed to be to help you overcome writer's block. It's for people that are writing and stuff, or creativity in general. And basically, we're going to turn a card over, and if it sucks, we're going to discard it. But we're going to turn it over until we get to a good one, and then we're all going to take a shot at it. Okay, and that'll be the nature of the episode.
Do we have to take a shot? I just took one.
You know what?
I mean,
I just about had it with your attitude.
It is our fifth mailbag episode, almost basically our year of mailbag, our 1 year of mailbag. True. So doing something a little special is not so crazy, I don't think.
That's right. Like I put this dress on to come here today. It's because it's special.
Is that? I thought it was just because it was breezy outside.
Well, I do feel breezy in this.
If you guys ever catch Spencer on a brisk spring morning downtown, he's usually caught standing over a vent.
I'm about to vent. Okay, so
gross.
All right. Well, let me kick it off here. There's a two-part question here from our loyal listener, Mr. Benton Davis, otherwise known as Frosty. Frosty listens a lot. He hopefully may be an eventual guest on the podcast. Real fascinating guy, total music enthusiast, good buddy of mine. He says his question for Mailbag is, what's a song that you want to hate but you can't because it's too catchy? I've got mine. I think everybody knows mine.
What is it?
Call Me Maybe. Or I will amend that and say Anything by Carly Rae Jepsen.
You talked her up big time when she first came out. I remember
Sucker for her. Sucker for her records.
That's a tough one. Because I want to say "Take on Me" by Aha, but I actually really love that song.
That's a great song.
Nobody wants to hate that. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like everybody when I play it, everybody's like, "Oh God."
Do you know there are parts in the Toto song Africa. Like I really want to hate Africa because generally, like the chorus, I can't stand the chorus of that song, and it comes on and people start jumping around. I just get furious.
Yeah.
But there are some really cool like vocal harmonies in the verse. And some stuff like that. So it makes it hard to hate Africa.
I'm going to go with Pina Colada. I really don't like that
Jimmy
song.
Buffett?
No.
Garth Brooks?
If you like Pina Coladas and getting caught in the rain.
Oh, yeah, okay. You want to hate it, but you don't?
I want to hate it, but anytime it comes on, I sing it anyways.
It's got a good cadence.
Yeah.
Like that if did appear in up.
I always tap my foot and I like turn it up in the car, and then after I'm done, I'm like, I fucking hate myself.
Well, it's got that yacht rock feel, so you can kind of justify that by saying like, I'm a fan of the Smooth Sailor.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of the Kenny Loggins.
It's also the shittiest story about a guy who sees.
It's horrible. The lyrics are horrible.
It's a guy who sees an ad about someone he wants to cheat on his wife with, and then goes and meets that person, and it's his wife. And then they're like, "Oh, I had no idea that you wanted to cheat on me with me. So let's kick it off." It's
once again a testament to what it was possible in the 70s versus in 2019.
Yeah, like if that song came out today, people would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
If it came out today, it would be like, "I want to sing about misogyny."
Oh, I want to shave what you let.
All right, what's your song you want to hate but you can't?
I already gave mine.
What?
You did not.
Fuck. Casey.
Go ahead.
Give us your song, you shit.
Go ahead and say it.
The one that I want to hate but I can't.
He was trying to get out of this question.
I was trying to get out of it.
Because it's catchy. No, he did say because it's catchy. So it has to be something that's infectious.
I'm going to say it's something Bruno Mars, because Hunter, for some reason, hates Bruno Mars.
I hate Bruno Mars because he's a lyrical... I'm not going to say that.
But it's so good. Like, Finesse is such a good song.
No, I can kind of see...
24 Karat Gold is so fun.
Man.
I'd jump in front of a train for you. It does nothing. I'd catch a grenade for you. You either die or you blow up your hand.
I think that's
it does
the same
nothing.
song.
No, it does. So
you just hate one song.
But
it's catchy. All right,
no,
Hunter found
I
his
like
song.
Bruno Mars.
Catch a Grenade by Bruno Mars.
No, fuck that song. I don't like that song.
Shit. Like, what's one that gets stuck in your head, stuck in your blood? You know, where you just go, God, I hate it, and then you're tapping your foot.
Bop by Hanson.
Oh, dude. No one can resist that. No one. Boom bop. He does a fucking cadence at the end. And it's actually not bad. You know, supposedly that song's about some...
Why are we having this?
It's supposedly because we were asked this fucking question.
I feel like my answer should be anything by Creed, but I honestly don't feel guilty about liking Creed. So
you should.
Yeah, you should.
I don't...
Yeah, well, we've come to a crossroads.
Hey, you know what? Let's just be honest. Let's be honest real quick.
Meet you at the crossroads.
Maybe not you guys, but most everybody loved Creed when they came out, and then they decided they didn't want to when Scott Stapp shenanigans got him in trouble and people started making fun of the voice and all that stuff.
Or when their second song got on the radio.
Or when he was on the side of the road rambling about the end times. And
sure, but that's what I'm saying, though. Like, people realized that he was off his rocker, and they were like, oh, This is stupid, and he sounds like he sings with marbles. Yes, he does sound like that. It still the songs sound good.
Well, okay.
So
And also, he's kind of the guy that would wear a fishnet T-shirt and think it's cool.
also
Let's
he would not. He wears shiny pants, Casey. That's different.
Roasted.
I'm just here to say, if you loved something and then changed your mind because other people pressured you into thinking you were wrong, eat a dick.
100%. And that goes with the theme of this entire show from the beginning. Don't let anybody yuck your yum. If Creed is your yum, you don't let me yuck it. But you're fucking dead on about that shirt.
He did wear a fishnet
Dear Scott
T-shirt in
Stapp,
one of his music
Casey has a
videos.
message for you. Don't. So,
You know what? I think a court is in session and the verdict is in.
okay. So
So Creed, anything by Creed.
there's a so going back to the Bop song. Supposedly that's a real the lyrical content is real dark. A lot of people used to go like, that happy song
Kind of
by
like
Hanson.
Take On Me.
Is that dark?
It's sad. It's sad as fuck.
Oh, let me ask you that. Okay, so
I'm working on cussing. I'm sorry.
second
guys.
part of Frosty's question was, what's your favorite explosive part of a song? Like what is it? What happens in a song that just really gets you going? Like when it does this or when it does that. Like what can a band basically write into their song that's going to get you for sure?
Dude, a bridge that drops all of the momentum of the song, but is super pretty, so you're still locked into it, and then builds. I don't care how fucking cheesy the chords are, and if they put harps and everything else, if they take you down to that quiet spot and then bring you up the fucking mountain and launch
take
you
it down
into
a notch
space,
and- yeah.
I'm all about it
100%.
every time.
Same. Case.
Come back to me. I got to think about this.
Fucking that gets me. And I remember there was an article by The Darkness, who I love. They were talking about the way they approach songwriting, and they have real classic rock, but they also have a real pageantry rock kind of a thing going on, And the singer or the guitar player was saying, they go, look, there's a formula, and you'd sing like a thing, and then you do a thing, and then you get to a bridge, and then you say something to the effect of, hey, that thing that I just said, I really meant that thing. And then you drop and you do a key change and go into like a guitar solo. He goes, if it's done properly, it'll blow your fucking head off. But there is definitely a thing that happens. For me, one of the things I'm a sucker for, and I hope Brandon Lee is listening to this. Brandon Lee and I have sat in this room after everyone's gone home, listening to
And laid out, yeah.
like
we know.
Kenny Loggins or big like mega hits from like the 70s and 80s, trying to figure out what were they doing. And one of the things that really gets us is when they do like a key change at the end. And probably the best example of this is Living on a Prayer. At the end, they go up like a whole step, or it might be a step and a half, and they sing the whole song, but they just modulate it up like a key or a key and a half or something like that.
Oh yeah, the key change is like the easiest trick in the
The
book, and it works
modulated
every
chorus
time.
outro.
Don't care.
Man.
There's actually a song Bo Burnham did about country music where he's making fun of it.
Oh yeah.
And at one
that's
point he's
really
like
good.
he's playing it and he like it gets into a lull and he goes, "Do y'all dumb motherfuckers want a key change?" And everyone shouts and then he changes the key. Like he just switches the song up.
That's
Speaking
hilarious.
of our dude
I think
Brandon,
that's hilarious.
Other than a bridge, something Breaking Benjamin's song "Evil Angel" does it at the beginning, so it doesn't matter where it happens.
Right.
But a super sick, high energy, but like real bassy and deep toned drum breakdown.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you guys will hear it soon enough with the music stuff Spence and I are doing. But in the song "Yabo Demons," as yet untitled, that thing that he does in the middle of it, where you guys drop out, and it's just.
Tom's. It's almost like a tribal kind of a thing.
So good.
Frosty's
So
example when he was.
I shouldn't have read that because that's one of mine.
Well, you can state it. He said his example was like the drum break in "The Air Tonight" by Phil Collins. Like
And
that.
I think I also like anything that goes from being almost like Bohemian Rhapsody or Freebird, where it's like someone's singing and there's not a lot of music, and then it just drops into this crazy instrumental like guitar solo.
just goes crazy. It's like an epic.
Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
I think I love those kind of things.
I do
for
too.
Sure.
I do too. I like those when they're done well. Purple Rain is like that. It's this sultry, nearly perfect ballad, maybe the perfect ballad, and it he just goes through this thing, and then right at the end of the chorus or whatever, the next like 3.5 minutes are just they just make your eyes melt. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, but in The Air Tonight, the drum, It's
Oh yeah, that's a.
I do the Mike Tyson thing after the Hangover. I just go and then I throw a punch.
That's right. If you don't air drum to that, why? What's going on with you?
I had a manager at T-Mobile back when I worked there years ago, and I was like dead on my feet one morning. We showed up to like do inventory at like 5 a.m. and he goes, "Hunter, hold on," and played the song. He skipped the whole song and just got right to that spot and played it. And when it happened, I immediately started jumping and like punching the air, the Mike Tyson thing, like an absolute idiot. And he goes, "You know what I love about this song? Anytime you got a white boy and he can't move, you just play that drum fill and he wakes up." Every time.
I get it. There's also a thing that a lot of songs do. There's a certain, it's not a key change. It's more of like a chord change where you sort of, it's really hard for me to explain. I feel like I should be able to explain this because I do music, but it's something that happens in the song. And it happened a lot in the 80s. It happened a lot in like hair metal and stuff. And it happens, you still hear it in really good songwriting. Butch Walker has been doing it for years. And even, in fact, our guest Brandon Harmon, who played the song Halfway Heart, it's sort of the main verse figure where you kind of just drop one note a half step and the other note stays the same. And you get this real like melodramatic kind of, it was in ZZ Top, it was in, it's been in everything. But whenever I hear it, I'm immediately engaged, like emotionally. And I think technically what you're doing is dropping like, I don't know, like a fifth or something, or it's like you're flattening a third out a little bit. It's interesting. But that's another thing too. I can hear it anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's like R&B music, pop music. If it's whenever I hear the thing, I'm just like, oh, it to me sounds extremely smart.
Yeah,
and it's emotional and whatever. Like somebody could be singing just a whole bunch of shit over it, and when I hear it, I'm instantly engaged. I'm like, fuck yeah, that guy's going through. Jimmy Eat World used to do it a lot,
Those are good questions.
All right, you want to flip a card over and see what happens?
Yeah, let's check this out. This one has a heart on it.
It has a heart on.
Sounds like
this actually, first off, is a great question.
Oh yeah, really?
Oh no,
shit. Especially with Valentine's Day coming up.
Oh shit. Okay.
When are you most unhappy in a relationship?
The minute it begins.
Zing.
No, I'm kidding.
Zing.
Guys, I think my mic stopped working. I can't yell all episode.
Get back on the mic. You're in this.
Yeah, you're in this, buddy.
It doesn't have to be anything incriminating. You can answer.
You could just be like, when she puts the toilet seat up and I go in and I just sit down and fall into the toilet.
When that happens, I stumble and she shouts from the bedroom, "Fuck you!"
When she shows Bilbo more affection than me. No, we get it.
It's a real thing.
When are you the most unhappy in a relationship?
I'm going to get in so much trouble now.
Oh, that's tough because not all relationships are the same.
I'd say probably one of my most unhappy moments in a relationship would have to be constantly compromising for the other person and not receiving compromise in return.
Any kind of lack of reciprocation in a relationship is unhealthy. So there's that. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Man, like it's for me, it's easily just that feeling when like you've been in it for a while and like, and my problem is often that I don't know when to pull the plug. Like I'm not a quitter. And so like a lot of times I'm in it to win it. So I want to stay in. I want to work through it. I want to like even possibly do therapy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I fucking commit, and that may be a problem. Like
sometimes it's best for them to just break up with you and then go pollute the minds of young people as a teacher downtown.
Okay,
what the fuck?
I think there's a personal
baby.
There's a personal note in that. But that feeling you get when like you it's just not getting any better, and you can kind of see the end coming, and like the communication is bad, and even like little pleasantries. You go, "Hey, how are you doing?" And then, fine.
Yeah.
You get that real weird. What's going on here? Like, how come we're not like? We can still try to be friends, And again, that depends on the person. Like, if you've got a nice person, they're probably just going to go, "Hey, we need to talk."
Yeah.
If you have like a scumbag, they're just going to act weird to you, and you're not going to know what's wrong. And like I think that's shitty to treat somebody that way, but it happens a lot. That's probably my least favorite part is when something's wrong and you don't know what it is, and you can't get a two-way communication going.
When you said that, I about said something really shitty about a past relationship I was in, and I completely caught myself. I was like, "Oh, nope, never mind."
Yeah, I know what mine is, and it's true of any relationship that I'm in. And usually it's not even what's happening, but I just perceive it that way, and it sets me off, like, in an instant. But if I feel like I'm not being listened to, if I feel like I'm being ignored.
Huh?
I'm out of here! Fuck this! For the listeners, Casey and Hunter just broke up. but I feel like they're going to get back together soon.
I know what you mean, Hunter.
I'm exactly the same way.
I smell sex and Casey. Yeah.
I also hate it because it's something that it's a negative thing that I do. I need to work on is always reading the situation wrong.
Oh, but
like
me too.
when the situation's like it's going and you're taking one road and they're like, what are you talking about? And you're like, oh shit, okay. And like you just like unloaded on them because they got mad at like the smallest thing and you blew up or you took it too far and
you told them all the stuff you hate about them.
Yeah, and they're like, I just wanted to know if you wanted. You know what? Never mind. You're just like shit.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right,
let's do another one.
Let's
get it. Let's see what's going on here. This one's like yellow. I don't know what that means.
Brain.
Yeah.
A thinker. If you don't think it's a good question.
This one assumes that we didn't make it, so this will be fun.
Okay.
What did you want to be growing up and why?
Oh, actually, no. I wanted to be an archaeologist.
Oh, that's a dope choice.
I kind of wanted to be a paleontologist, hence all the dinosaur talk and whatnot.
Yeah, but you have to be like an objective scientist and able to take your biases aside. If you dug up an Arsenitherium skeleton, you would see that it was superior to your elasmin.
Arsenitherium up your ass.
So I think for me, it was just the same reason why I want to go into space and go into Mars. Like I want to experience the unknown. I thought being an archaeologist would be a cool way of doing that, like exploring pyramids and old civilizations and ruins and
within the safe confines of our atmosphere.
I guess, but
zing. Let me ask you this.
I would love to go to Mars and find old ancient ruins there.
See, now that sounds pretty fucking cool.
It does.
Why hasn't anybody done a movie about
does that sound cool?
Shut up, you dick.
Someone has it. It was called, was it Red Planet or Mission to Mars? It was Mission to Mars. It was a PG film, came out in like 2000.
And they actually went there and found ruins
Ghost
and
of Mars?
No. Mission to Mars. It was like...
But Ghost of Mars with Ice Cube and Jason Statham?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, Mission to Mars was just a real existential movie. It was boring as hell, really, except I like the aliens at the end. They meet aliens and there's like this big pyramid and stuff.
I really miss the movie Ghost of Mars.
I never saw it. He's being shitty. Is he being shitty?
I'm sorry. I'm on fire today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Right, go.
So was John Carpenter's special effects budget when he made Ghosts of Mars.
Ooh, zing.
Jesus Christ.
Whoa.
I never finished that movie. I've tried it twice. Okay.
It's that bad?
It's not great.
Oh, okay.
If you ever wanted to see Ice Cube sit down on a cardboard shelf and then float through a PlayStation 1 graphic for 5 minutes while the opening credits roll.
In fact, it's all I've ever wanted. I'm going to go watch it right now.
No one can help you there.
Then this one's for you.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to make it to where because there's
cut
a
that
lot
deck.
of
Cut that deck. Get some shit.
I want to get some.
Wait, did you answer? What did you say?
I didn't answer. I wanted to be a storyteller. Still want to be a storyteller. I'm getting opportunities to do that. That's a broad thing that I discovered later in life. Mostly, what I want to do is tell stories through comic books.
Sure.
But with you, I get to tell it through music. We can't talk about that yet. But with Casey and Beacon House, we're going to tell a new story this
through
year.
Podcasts.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
That's why I love D&D and all that stuff so much too. It's storytelling or film.
This is a deep one. Mm-hmm. What does the world need to know right now?
I was actually thinking about this. I was actually thinking about this the other day. The world is in the masses, or the world is in like the inanimate blue ball we live on?
I'm going to go with the masses, but
the masses need to know that at worst, there's only 6 years left to this shit.
That is dark.
That's pretty fatalistic. Also, it's going to be hard to beat that.
I meant Trump is out of the White House after one more re-election if it happens. My bad, guys.
Everybody be in
There's plenty of hope.
What does the world need to know?
God.
Oh, I can think of something. I know. I think I know what. If I had like a tiny chance to broadcast one fact to the entire planet, I think I would say the universe is more on your side than it is against you. So just remember that moving forward. Whatever happens to you, if you like, before you get depressed or before you there are more good things waiting for you than bad ones.
Yeah.
And I believe that in some tangible way. That's what I think I would tell the world. It's like, don't worry, it's still more good than bad.
I think mine is kind of an asshole-ish statement, but the world needs to know that no one cares what you're upset about. just in case you guys know, Putting things on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's expressing over concern about something very mediocre and saying how upset you are about it. No one really gives a shit. No one cares. No one cares that someone was mean to you at Walmart. No one cares that someone cut you off in the parking lot. Phone. No one cares that I wouldn't loan you my phone in Kroger.
Yeah.
You can complain all you want, and your friends will comment and be like, oh, I can't believe that. Boycott this place. But in the end, no one gives a shit. Next question.
Wait, Hunter didn't answer.
Yes, he did. He said that we were all going to die in 6 years.
Damn. I was expecting something more prolific from him. What a dick.
I honestly was going to say that there's plenty of time to unfuck ourselves and let's get busy.
There you go.
It's not too late.
This one's okay.
Uh-oh.
What are you the most scared of losing, and what would you truly lose if you lost it?
My wife.
That's pretty good.
I actually had a dream about it last night, and I woke up.
What are you the most scared of losing, horrified. And what would you lose if you lost it? Well,
my sanity if I lost my wife.
That's tough because there's so many things that like I'm not a big like coveter of like things and stuff. Like so I couldn't go like, oh man, if I lost my guitar, I'd be like, or if I think I'm more afraid of losing like my stability. Like if I lost my job and didn't have any income, then I wouldn't be able to finance things like this or the cable business or whatever. Like if I lost my health, I wouldn't be. I think I'm afraid of losing whatever it is that helps me be in service to other people. You know, like I'd be useless to you guys. I'd be useless to all these people if I didn't have a way to just do my thing, whatever my thing is. So I don't know. I guess my well-being is what I'm the most afraid of losing for whatever reason, you know, like that or my cats.
I think my answer is creativity. I'm afraid of losing my creativity. I'm afraid that at some point I'm going to get to like so deep into the rat race of making sure that I can pay the bills and get all these, you know, fancy things that in the end I don't get to experience creativity anymore.
That's big. That's like I think that's a classic artist conundrum. You know, like at what point do you like just buckle down and get in the rat race? Like, you know what I mean?
Because yours, I'm also afraid of. Like, there's that fine line of you need to be in the rat race so you can make your ends meet. You can have a sustainable living, but also in that you give up certain things.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That balance. That's the big thing about life is just finding that balance. You know,
these are awesome. These cards are awesome.
Yeah. This was originally called. If anybody wants to go check this out, it's a company called Best Self Co. I know they're on Instagram for sure, but you could probably look them up. It's probably on Amazon. I think I got these on Amazon. And this is called the Wordsmith deck, but there's also like there's several different decks. Originally, this was called the Hemingway deck, and then I went online and it was called something different. But this is the one. It says a tool for writing. So, and again, if you're potentially like a creative type and you would like something to maybe spur some creativity, or you know, if whatever you want to use it as like a discussion piece or something, like it's pretty cool. And I read a couple of them before I ordered it, but I was like, man, this would be really good. And I actually thought about it in this context. Anyway, you guys go check out Best Self Co. Wordsmith deck.
Well, on the note of losing something, this one is talking about doing it voluntarily, and it's an interesting question. What's something from your past that you're thankful you gave up on, and why?
For me, the obvious one would be smoking. But that's sort of just obvious and why.
It doesn't matter if it's obvious. I mean,
that was a big one for me in terms of being unshackled from vices and weakness and that kind of stuff. It took a lot of willpower to do that. But something from your past that you gave up.
I'd say hopelessness. I didn't even know I had it for a long time, but that was a big facet of
that's huge.
My personality. And it didn't really change ultimately like who I am as a person or creatively, but like I definitely had a cynical and fatalistic outlook on everything and pretty much was just going through the motions, not even taking care of myself diabetically speaking or anything either, just kind of waking up, living, eating, going to the bathroom and going to sleep for years. And then, you know, I got shocked out of that a few years ago and life even at its worst, has been better than ever since.
And it becomes sort of that. I remember that day, like
having something to live for.
The day you realize that you're like, and again, it sounds like I'm quoting a Creed song now to him, like my own prison, you know. But all of those things are generally self-imposed. Like if you feel like you're having if you're in a rotten place, or a lot of times those are walls of your own creation. Mm-hmm. Like it's sort of so much of life is so based on your perspective. Like if you feel like everything's cool, it may not actually be, but it's cooler than it was when you were just like, oh, everything sucks.
Yeah.
You know, but it's hard to, just depending on what you're dealing with, it's hard to be I'm not in a good mood. A lot of people go, oh, you must always be in a good mood. And I'm like, go talk to the people I work with.
Nope, that's not true.
Spencer's really mean when the mics are off.
I'm not really mean, dicks. I'm about to be really mean with the mic on. But no, I get what you're saying. What would you say, Case?
My constant need to please.
Oh, that's big. That's so big.
That's really big.
I gave up trying to please everybody not too long ago.
Almost impossible to please anybody if you're trying to please everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically.
Like constantly like having 4 or 5 people wanting to do something on a particular day and having to like spread myself so thin and like making other people mad because I had to leave them early to go get to another thing. Finally got to the point where people just ask me, you know, like I'll have 5 people be like, what are you doing on Friday? And I'm just like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing the thing you want me to do.
Right.
And then at the end, when it comes to Friday, I'll reach out to one of those people and be like, actually, I do have some time. What are you guys doing?
That's good.
Being able to say no is
being able to say
important.
no.
Yeah.
Don't be just say, sorry, I can't do that.
And if anyone gives you shit for not having time for them, tell them to fuck off. Because if they really care for you,
and this feels bad, but like I'll have 5 people ask me if I want to do something, and I'll ditch all 5 of them, and then end up just sitting on the couch watching TV, and I'm like, this is so much better than going out and doing something.
Self-care.
Right now. This is so much better.
You got to do it. You got to do it. People will take, even if they don't mean to. It could be accidentally, but at some point you have to set boundaries. We've talked about this before, but like,
and I actually think you, sir, need to take a break every now and then.
I would agree with that.
I would agree with that too.
I pointed at Spencer, by the way.
When I find one, I'll let you know. But no, I've done that. So
we should show him.
I've kind of had like some times where I've tried to piece it out. My whole thing is just getting organized. Like if I can get my day organized right, and but I have done that too. I've said sorry. It's like some of the people that are, again, the guitar cable business. We'll get around to all that kind of stuff. But recently, kind of had like a big uptick, and I had to kind of, and it was actually at the advising of some friends that said like it's okay to just be real and say it's going to take a week or 2. Mm-hmm. It's okay to not have to just like immediately downsell it, and like, you know, like there's this tendency when somebody contacts you to go like, yeah, man, I'll give you like I'll just give it to you real cheap or whatever. You go like, you have to have like a value.
Yeah,
it's got to be worth. You know, if you act like this stuff's not valuable, everybody else will too. Mm-hmm. And like, and I had a couple things too where like again, we'll get into this, but like the cables that I make were on an album that won a Grammy last year, and they're on 3 albums that are nominated for a Grammy this year.
Did you get any kickback from that?
No shit, no. But you get to hear it on the radio and know that like you contributed to the sound, and I actually, one of them, the one that won last year, was the record "The War on Drugs." It won a Grammy Best Rock Album, and I didn't even know. I knew that it had been done in a studio that I supplied with guitar cables, but I didn't know I was hearing it on the radio as I was doing errands one day, and this song came on the radio, and I was like, shit. And I swear to God, I was like, man, the guitars sound great. Who is, and I Shazammed it, and it was that record. And I was like, dang. And that was great. I had a good afternoon from that, you know, because again, if somebody tells you, you can always tell yourself all these lies, but I had no idea what I was listening to. I was just like, whoever recorded this knew what they were doing. So anyway.
Dude, that's actually what I loved about, quick tangent, but when Troy came into my place of business.
Troy Lewis, Saturday, shout out. Dude, shout out Troy Lewis.
You fucking, from a creative standpoint.
The only thing I love more than getting a text from you saying
day.
Troy's hanging out with me right now is getting a bag of coffee from Troy. Anyway,
But no, he definitely checked out I showed him the stuff that we do and work on, and he made me feel like $1.5 million bucks.
That's awesome.
Which was just great. It made my day.
And Troy knows
suck.
what the fuck he's talking about too. He's a very experienced musician. He's not been
also
out playing.
Brandon. Shout out from Troy. I mean, I know he's not here, but he was going bananas over your drumming.
Brandon and Troy had known each other before, but Troy, dude, I played some crazy shows with Troy. Look, Troy and I opened for Kid Rock together.
Did you?
Yeah. Not that Kid Rock is cool.
Is that where Stack came from?
No, Stack is. We're not going to talk about what Stack is.
You're the anchor.
You're the anchor, man. Oh, this is good. This one's really good. List up to. It says up to. It doesn't have to be a total, but it says list up to 5 books or films. So it could be let's each do 3.
Here goes the rest of the podcast.
Books or films. 5 books or films that have made a profound impact on you and why.
Oh shit.
God, yeah.
Yeah, here goes the rest of the episode.
The Road, both the movie and the book.
Oh fuck yeah, that's my favorite.
By Cormac McCarthy.
Cormac McCarthy.
And
Hell yes.
It showed me that my parents have, even if I don't realize it, have taught me a lot about life.
There you go. That's a really good one.
Interstellar.
Okay.
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
Okay. It is phenomenal.
Okay.
And I'm going to do another book.
I feel like they're probably, for me, there's like way more books that have been like a big deal for me than movies, but I'm thinking about it.
I'm about to say Great Gatsby.
Sweet.
That's a good one.
And I think that one, like what it taught me is just, don't chase after something or someone that's not going to be interested back.
Also was written at the Grove Park Inn in
Really?
Asheville. Yep.
That makes sense.
I would also say The Road. It is my favorite fiction book that I've read. And the reason would be that in an apocalyptic setting, it shows that there's still evil and there's still good that's willing to fight it, even though there's nothing to live for anymore. And when man is gone, life continues, which is kind of, I guess, more on a dystopian and existential kind of vein. But I think that's important and good. Interstellar, again, I hadn't thought of it, but that's a great one. We won't get into a review of it again, but its explanation for time travel, what it is and how it actually works, emotionally, not scientifically, floored me and is something that I wholeheartedly believe in. And I'm gonna go with this just because it's my gut reaction and it's a pretty shallow choice, but it means a lot to me. 1956 Godzilla King of the Monsters movie. It preserved the anti-war, anti-nuclear theme of the original from 2 years before. It's also living proof, fuck all of you that disagree, you are jumping on a bandwagon with a stick up your ass, that an adaptation can actually be very good and different enough to not even bear comparison. And it also introduced me to the wooden, yet you can't look away because it's somehow amazing acting of Raymond Burr. So, just all around great movie.
Man,
and I'm grateful for it.
I have very cheesy answers for this, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get real close to the mic. I'm gonna get real personal with our listening audience.
ASMR.
Not really, man. Here's the thing. And again, and then we've talked about various things, and I'm not, this is not trying to be preachy. Like I'm not about to take up a collection after this or anything like that. Obviously, I'm not trying to be a role model, and I'm not trying to influence anybody or nothing. But easily the one book that had a bigger impact on me than any book ever written in my entire life that I ever came across was C.S. Lewis' Mere Christianity. Mm-hmm. Hands down. It was literally the one piece of literature that when I read it, I was a different person after I finished it.
That's fair.
It changed. It answered things for me that nothing was ever able to, including the Bible. Which I know that kind of sounds shitty to say, and probably because I didn't pay enough attention. But and not everybody's concerned with God or whatever. But I was at a point where like I wanted answers, and I'm naturally a big skeptic. Mm-hmm. I don't just take things because people go, oh, this is this way. I go, well, why?
Yeah.
And if it's something that important, but that was my introduction to theology, and I spent about 12 years there, and I really, really, really got the answers I wanted. I figured out how I felt about things, and it helped. But that was it. That was the lightning rod. And it was so well written, and it was just he probably became instantly my favorite author too at the same time. So he's got a ton of good books. Check out any of them, blah blah blah. But Mere Christianity is a big one. Not a hard read either, but he gets right to it, and it does some profound things that most writers wouldn't be able to do. A second thing, man, I keep coming back to this. This sounds stupid, but honestly, the movie Tombstone. I feel like
I'll be your Huckleberry.
I feel like it depicts men at the testing point of courage and humanity, and also like I don't know, like having to do just terrible things you don't want to do. Probably a lot of war movies are like that too. But you just kind of somewhere you identify like with that type of heroism, I think. You know, you see like, yeah, that guy's having to do some tough shit. That's really scary. How can he stand there and like he's going to get shot? How can he like be that tough? And like, I just think it's like the most, I don't know, like exhilarating depiction of like real men, like that I've ever seen on the big screen. And I love the characters, whatever. So that would be the second one. The third one.
Are you ashamed or can you not decide?
No, there's so many things. I'm so influenced by so many things. I don't think it would be a movie. It would probably be another book. Oh, okay. Stephen King's On Writing.
Oh, that's great. That's a great one.
Hands down.
That changed how I write. That's why I'm able to finish stuff I write now.
It's not only a wonderful book about the language and about just how it is to read and write and to be a fan of literature and a fan of anything. It's also an incredible love story too.
Yeah.
Talking about him and the way he writes about his wife and talks about his wife it's absolutely like
it brought first time in the college library when she read a poem or something.
Oh yeah, about the bear. Yeah, 100%. And then like
he
later on
it to this day. Yeah.
And when he like very first when the rights to Carrie went and they were like so struggling. You know what I mean? Like he was like working all day. He was a school teacher during the day. Of course, school teachers don't make shit.
Yeah.
And then at night he was washing like dirty laundry for like the hospital. So like hospital sheets, like really infected, like and just basically not sleeping at all. They had kids. They were like months behind on the rent. They had a piece of shit car that would barely like stay running. Like transmission went out every week. Like really like two young, like literature buffs just struggling to fucking stay. And he had written Carrie and it went in the garbage. He decided he didn't like it and he crumpled it up, threw it in the trash. And when he got home, she had pulled it out, she had read it, dusted all the cigarette ashes off of it, laid it back on the desk with a note that said, "Finish this. This is good. You don't believe in yourself or whatever, but I believe in you." And like, he finished it, and it was the first ever big book deal he had. It went to like Scribner or Simon & Schuster for like $20,000 or
the Richard Bachman things weren't paying for anything. So.
Yeah, it was huge, totally huge. And he said that
a movie 2 years later,
when he got the phone call, his wife was off at work and he was standing in their kitchen and he like broke down and started crying and he didn't know what to do. So he walked to the drugstore and bought her a hairdryer. And I think that's so great. Fucking beautiful. Like it's the great. So I would say Mere Christianity, On Writing, and
I want to reread that now.
I've reread it. It's actually one of the books I give to people. Like when I've worked with somebody for a couple of years and they're like moving on or they're moving out of state or
that's a good book to give somebody. That's a good choice.
I give On Writing to a lot of people as a gift, and it's I think it's a big fucking deal. There's a lot in it besides how to write. There's a lot in it just about like what it's like to just love anything. You know, like it's pretty cool. So anyway,
before we move on very quickly,
I hope that didn't sound preachy. I didn't mean for that to be.
No, that was great. My previous comments about Godzilla were unnecessarily crass and antagonistic. I love all of you and respect your opinion.
Okay. Also,
Casey goes, okay. If you guys could see the look on his face.
He does not give a fuck.
He's ready for you to shut the fuck up. Probably me too.
No, I just realized that I said Interstellar, but I didn't give a reason why I liked Interstellar.
Because love is time travel.
Well, I was going to say love transcends space and time, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and who doesn't love a good love story? I almost said the movie Moulin Rouge. And that's super cheesy, but it was so fucking unapologetically, like, violently romantic.
Yeah.
That it was like, and the big overarching theme is the greatest thing that you will ever learn is to love and be loved in return. You know, like
just like Supernatural.
Yeah. I don't know.
If given the choice, which time period, past, present, or future, would you like to live in and why?
See door number 3.
Yeah, I feel like we already do this?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, did we? Okay.
I'm going to go.
That was a good question. That was a shitty answer.
We can do it real quick. I say future because I want to get away from this.
I think I said the 70s, but I don't know.
Past if there was no butterfly effect.
Yeah, I think I'd probably go with the 70s or whatever. I did see a video today that talked about, it was a YouTube video that talked about the 5 worst times in human history to be alive.
Was the 70s one of them?
No. Shut up, you dick. Apparently you've never heard Kiss. So, the first one was...
Keep it simple, stupid.
Middle Ages, during the 1300s, the Black Death. Literally killed half the population of Earth.
It makes for great art, though.
Shut up.
It does.
And then the second one was something like... when China decided, like, after World War II, like, the great move forward, and they just, like, starved everybody, and, like, 50 million people died, and, oh, man, it was terrible. So I would not want to be alive during one of those times, for sure.
I think, I'm just going to go future. I think it'd be interesting to see where everyone is 100 years from now.
See, I don't know if I want to...
You want to show up on a black husk of
It'd
a
be
planet.
cool to see. Look,
it's like decimated, and
it could be that, or it could be just like this thriving.
One would hope. I would hope that.
well,
that's true.
it would be the things that we will have are going to be fucking incredible. I'm more concerned about the things we're going to be.
Because of the things that we're choosing to lose right
I think
now.
we're definitely getting less cool as we go on, but things are getting cooler, So like, I don't know. Maybe that's a give and take. What did you say?
The past, but if the butterfly effect didn't matter.
Oh, got it.
Well, since we did mine, you guys go ahead.
I'm gonna get get a green one.
Ooh.
What's this?
What isn't fair right now?
The fact that people think being upset about something and other people give a shit about it.
That's fair. The fact that people think what they think overrides facts.
I think something that's not fair right now is that like most of the information we get comes from like completely unreliable sources, like on the news, and like there was a recent like somebody we're a big fan of, Tulsi Gabbard, just announced her run for president. By the way, if you didn't see the speech,
people are rolling her over the rate.
For
what? I haven't seen this.
They're raking over the coals, and why? Obviously, because they do this. They did it with Rand Paul too. The minute somebody that tells the truth gets up on TV, it scares the fuck out of them. And she's been on TV, like she did a speech, and it was beautiful. It was in Hawaii. She announced the thing. I posted a clip of it. It's about 23 minutes long, and I posted a clip on Facebook. But the first part of it's like, thank you so much for your support, and it's kind of a rally. And then about 7 minutes in, she gets real as fuck.
Oh, great.
She calls out Big Pharma. She calls out like the military-industrial complex. She calls out nation building. Just boom. She gets after.
Sounds like her Joe Rogan podcast.
She gets after Trump. She gets after all of it. She talks about like the war stuff, and she's really, really pro-veterans because she is a veteran.
Yeah.
And she talks about like we are not going to be like a shill for corporate interest anymore. We're not like if I'm president, like we're going to take care of our veterans. We're not going to do nation building. We're not going to go now. She's
anti-empire. She's anti-war.
I wanted to go through, and I probably will do this. Yeah. I will go in through and watch it again and compile a list of terms that she said live. And I bet no, you're not going to hear anybody else say them. I guarantee no other politician is going to say these words. She went at it. It was one of the most libertarian things I've ever heard, and it's ironic because she's a Democrat, but she's like that. She again. It doesn't matter what party you belong to. It's just she's not a crook. And man, they tried to spin this thing that the Russians were after her, and it was exposed. MSNBC tried to like make a big case about the Russians were somehow supporting Tulsi Gabbard, and like actually Fox News had a guy on that busted him, and they posted it, and like, what a zeitgeist, what a bunch of shit, But
yeah.
Anyway,
wow.
I think if that's what I think is wrong is that people just take whatever information they see on social media as fact. And
my favorite thing is when people post Onion articles and they post it as like being upset about it.
Unironic,
like, yeah. Like they just, could you believe this? Can you see it? And then the first few comments are like, this is the Onion and satire. It's not real. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, if you read the article, you'd realize that, but it's people who just see the headline and post it and get upset about the headline without reading the article. And I think somebody did a experiment once where they posted an article with like a very disturbing headline, and then when you clicked on the link, it pulled up this thing calling you. It's like basically like, I can't believe, or congratulations, you actually clicked on the link. Like, you're reading this. This isn't true.
Yeah.
But I just want to see how many people post on social media and say that it is true. And it just went on, like it caught fire.
Do you guys have a favorite Onion article, real quick? Mine's the one about like stabbing monkeys.
Man,
for medical research.
I'd have a hard time picking my favorite Onion moment. There's so many that I like.
There's so many good ones.
That one never fails to make me cry laugh.
Okay, I've got a card here.
Okay.
And we're kind of getting close here, so why don't we each do one more?
Okay.
And then we'll be done with the mailbag. This says, what are the 3 most important things that children should be taught in school? I would actually like to have our friend Appen Lee on, who is a school teacher here in Knox County. I'd actually love to have her on to talk about this.
Actually, I'm already there. I know exactly the 3 things.
What are they?
Sign language, cursive, and shit, I had the 3rd one. Come back to me. But I think sign language and cursive. Like, I had to learn cursive when I was in school, and a lot of people don't have to do that nowadays, and I feel like it's something that people should learn how to do. Because y'all have some bad handwriting, and it shows.
I get it.
I have terrible handwriting, by the way, if I don't write in cursive.
3 most important things children
That they should learn. Yeah.
I'm going to definitely say, I'm going to name things that they don't typically put a lot of emphasis on that I think should be, it's absurd. And a lot of the homeschool programs now include this stuff. Business. Mm-hmm. Like there's nothing in grade school where they teach kids about what, like maybe what it'd be like to own and operate your own business and how to do taxes and things like that. And like, and then also civics. Nothing in school teaches kids how to use the civic system, how to like take somebody to small claims court if they do you wrong, or like use the system that's already in place. Like they just grow up ignorant of all the tools that they have based on the local government and that kind of stuff. Nobody teaches that.
It's like they do that on purpose.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go ahead and say the arts. The arts are always taking a total shit beating in schools these days. Funding, it gets cut. No, but man, honestly, I think music and art are huge things they need to teach people in school. And it's proven, just for the record, if you have kids and you're like, well, I don't want them to be a starving artist or whatever. Okay, I get it. But it's proven that their aptitude goes way up if they learn music. If they learn art, if they learn, like developing that side of the brain actually makes them better at scholarly things like math and English and what have you. And like, I think there needs to be a balance. You know what I mean? I don't think we need to raise a generation of people that are just like, they only know how to use a smartphone. You know what I mean? There still needs to be something organic. So I would say those 3 things. I would say that the arts, and civics and business.
I would say for sure the arts, the full spectrum of the arts, why they matter, not only learning to do them and be encouraged, but why they matter and why it matters to support them within a society, because no one doesn't. No one doesn't. That's a double negative. No one wants to do that much these days.
Like, why does art matter? That's a huge conversation.
Why we can have a longer conversation about that later, but it is so vital, and there's many reasons why and how it actually holds up a society without industrial things coming into it and economy and all that. So there's that. There is...
that reminds me of Dead Poet Society.
Yeah.
They did a lot of talking in that movie about why it matters to write poetry and why you need,
Number 2 is that there is such thing as an objective truth, and you won't always come into agreement with it. And as a result, number 3, how to properly use civil discourse to not be a screaming fucking banshee with a head full of fire that spouts ignorant bullshit out on the street.
I would wear a t-shirt with that statement printed on it.
I don't know. That'd take up a whole big t-shirt.
I don't care. I love it.
That'd be front and back and the
Civil
sleeves.
discourse.
And by the way, I feel terrible about my answers now. Thanks a lot.
No, come on.
Your answers are great.
This is going to be this is the closing act of the.
And honestly, here's the thing: is a lot of
which stack are we pulling from?
This one.
Okay, last one for me.
I guess the sign language thing doesn't make a whole lot of sense because hearing aid technology is becoming so well advanced that a lot of people who are born deaf are getting the chance to hear. But I still think sign language is an important thing to learn. I think it should be with the other languages like French, German,
right?
Spanish, things like that. Cursive is a personal thing of mine, just because
I love it.
You go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "Here's a prescription for this thing." You're like, "What is this shit?"
We're not doing that one. But
no, we're not.
Save that card for if we ever get Glenn Jacobs on here.
Oh, if
it's not going to happen. The third thing, honestly,
right.
The third thing I would, and I don't know how you could make this a teachable lesson in class, but in school, but I want there to be a lesson on how to fucking love each other.
Oh yeah.
How to get along,
to put your differences aside. Well, that's kind of what you were saying.
That would be the civil discourse thing.
Yeah.
But that's more potent and more specifically
you see
geared.
2 kids not getting along, very bullying each other or picking on each other. Take them out of whatever class they're in, put them in this class. It's like you're going to learn how to
see the opposing viewpoint. Yeah. And some people would say that that's maybe a parenting thing, but look, man, in this day and age, you got to get it where you can get it. Sometimes
parents need to get their ass in that class.
Yeah, parents are dropping the ball, and they need to have the kid, like maybe that teacher or that mentor at school picks up where they left off. I mean, you can't get too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
All
right. You guys ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
Yeah, go for it.
I really enjoy this question. What is something not many people understand about you?
Oh, this is.
Do we want to do it for each
If
other?
I answer this honestly, it's going to be super weird and dark.
Wait.
Do we want to do this?
I want to
for,
hear that answer then. But what?
Do we want to do this for each other, or like do your own?
That could be interesting to do it for each other because it'd be a more objective answer instead of what you think it is. Like what?
Like for me, I think the thing that people misunderstand about me most is people think I just do not care at all. And that's not the case. I care, and I care about certain things. I just don't overly care about something.
Okay.
Well, see, that's what I would have said for you, though.
Yeah.
Is that people might think you not care nearly as much as you do. And I like your idea of doing it for each other, answering this for each other, just to get some outside perspective on it, too. But that would be my answer for Casey. And the truth behind that is you're wrong as all fuck, and you should maybe spark a conversation with the guy and get to know him.
I don't know. You could,
but only if he wants you to.
Yeah. don't make me talk to people.
As long as you don't ask for his phone first.
Don't ask to borrow his phone.
Well, I think it's honestly, it's just one of those things. Like I care,
Yeah.
but when I see people overly care about something, and like, you know, they're so upset about something that doesn't matter in their life, and they're crying about it, I'm like, come on. Like,
I'm with you there.
Put it this way. In 2016, I saw more people crying about what had happened in the election. And I was just like,
it'll be over in 4 years, guys.
Oh, it'll be over but Bill Burr put it best when he talked about like having Obama as president. He's like, did Obama ever call you? See how the lawn was doing? See how your kids were? Yeah. No, you're not going to hear from
He's like, what do you care who the president is? What does he make you, a sandwich?
Don't put that out there. We encourage people to vote on this
and I'm looking
podcast,
at this question. I says, what is something not many people understand? Not necessarily know. I was thinking, like, what's something people don't know about you? So that kind of gives me a different perspective. What do you think about yourself or whoever?
Okay, well, that was the thing I didn't know. Are we answering for each other or?
I think we should answer for each other and then talk about it.
Okay, sure. So that's mine for Casey, and I would say that is a fair thing about understanding, because I guess the way you would worry about how you might come across on the podcast or things, but like really in person, you're really kind of jolly guy. So I don't know. You're a mystery. You're a dichotomy.
I would, for something about Casey, I'd say something people don't typically know about Casey is what a fucking workhorse he is. Like, what a powerhouse. Just like, no, I'm just saying, like, a lot of times.
No, that's fair. That's really fair.
No, it is, man. Like, you have I think a level of consistency that's just insane. Like you're always on time. You always beat us here. Like, you're always like, you work your fucking ass off. Like, you recently, when it came time to do this, like, live thing, like, you just totally.
You stepped the fuck up.
You like went and got all this gear. You learned all this stuff. Like, you're doing digital editing now. Like, it's just like, I mean, you're a total smooth operator, and I don't think a lot of people see that about you. But I think you're one of the slickest guys that I know, just in terms of like, I don't know. He just looks like he's got his shit together in a big fucking way, and that I respect that a lot too. And then for you, Hunter, I'm pointing at Hunter now. I'd say something that a lot of people don't understand about Hunter is what a fucking intellectual giant you are.
Preach.
Like,
thank you.
Because you're so humble and you're so generally unassuming and just generally kind of happy. And a lot of these like real heavy-handed fucking, I'm making quote marks, and the intellectuals, you know, they you know what, like a smart person never says is, hey, let me show you how smart I am. You know what I mean? Like, you never act like you have anything to prove, and that's the true sign of
it's because I don't like horn-rimmed glasses and cardigans, so I don't want to put a costume on.
Well, hey, shut up. But I don't think anybody understands.
I'm sorry, Casey.
The depth of Hunter's like intellect. It's like, and I catch it when I'm going back and editing these things. But you'll get on these tears where I'm just like, whoa. I feel like I'm sitting in front of like a yogi or something, you know. I'm just like, holy shit, this guy's
certainly hope not.
This guy's smart as fuck, you know.
So Hunter, what's the thing that people don't understand about Spencer? Because I was gonna say the workhorse thing that he said about me, because Spencer is a guy who a lot of people know is overworked a lot of the times, but I kind of think that I don't think
bosses at work need that.
But I also think in a sense that you wouldn't have it any other way. Because I think you wouldn't, if you got like a week of free time, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself.
I don't know. Maybe.
No, I think Casey's right about that.
I'd catch up on some fucking cheesy shows and some grilled cheese. I'd sit on my phone. I'd be covered in cats watching shows.
I would say the depth of character and the depth of discussion that's available to you if you want to talk to Spencer about anything on the spectrum of existence, because you do, you know, broadcast all the stuff you do, so everybody knows you're constantly busy, you're constantly bouncing back and forth. You're a really funny guy, and you're really, you know, personable, so out in public, you're able to make people laugh and feel comfortable and all that stuff, and all that's important. But like, if someone ever thinks that you're just like the really polite, jokey guy or something like that, if they can sit you down or, take you aside for 5 minutes and be like, well, I want to know what you think about this, or I'm feeling this or whatever, you're pretty much, a blank canvas as far as like things to talk about, and you can go deep with all of it.
Thank you for that. That's very polite. I think maybe that I would maybe, I'm not saying that I'm good at that stuff, but I think kind of one thing that I've always, like my entire life, I think a lot of that was misunderstood about me was that I do have a serious side.
Yeah.
And it's not like a depressing, well, maybe, but
it catch you off guard too.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm just so like generally glad to see people that I joke and I keep it light and like that. But like I think about some deep shit. I've got shit on my mind,
Yeah.
I think I have a better answer, which I don't think this is something that people don't understand about Spencer. I think a lot of people know this about Spencer, but there's no greater support system than a Spencer McCoy.
Oh, I would go with that.
Dang.
Yeah. I was debating between those two.
I mean, this podcast wouldn't really be here unless I looked at Spencer and was like, I want to do this. And he was like, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, all this equipment is yours.
No, not. I mean, some of it, we're starting to amass. Well, again, we use the tools that are available to us too. So,
but is it just a matter of you being like, I have some homework for you. You do this, figure out what we need to do, and we'll buckle down. And, and I went home and like did some research, found out what we needed to start a podcast. And I mean, I had nothing. And then all of a sudden Spencer's like, I have all that equipment, everything that you just looked up that you need. I got that. So let's do this.
Turns out, kids, it's easy to start your own podcast. So we'll see you guys on the internet.
Yeah. It only costs like what? Couple of like $400, $500, $600.
Well, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like they're way more expensive startups.
I guess you could use a lapel mic in your phone.
I think as long as you just do your best in terms of like the content, it doesn't really matter as much what you use. Kind of like recording music. It's not as much like how the production level. I mean, that does matter, but it's what you write. Mm-hmm. The song is always the most important thing, even if it was recorded on like a crappy boombox or something. Like,
my favorite stuff is dissecting our lyrics. At some point, like whatever you think I'm actually screaming about during band practice, and you'll months later go, "Wait, what did you say there?"
I love it. I love it when we actually come time to track vocals, and I go, "Hunter, what do you say right there?" And he'll tell me, and I go, "Whoa, fucking really?"
But to that point, no one will ever see this stuff, so you can maybe edit this one out. But I'm thinking about it now. Spencer's a really good teacher, and I would assume that that's going across again the whole spectrum because he can talk about things. But like when we track vocals. And I shit the bed for the first 10 takes. That's not a word. Regardless of what, I think is good. He'll eventually figure out what I'm doing wrong and go, it's going to sound really stupid and cheesy, but kind of just do it like this. And he'll do it real quick. And then the next take is 1,000,000 times better.
I stole that from Def Leppard.
That's okay.
You know what? I enjoy these.
I agree.
I enjoy these moments. I enjoy these moments where we pat each other on the back because there's a lot of the times where we go through like 6 or 7 episodes of just shitting on each other. And so a lot of people think that like outside of the podcast, we're just like, we leave and we're like, fuck those
There's
guys.
an eventual lesson in that, folks. I think that you don't have to agree on things to have mutual respect.
You can have a friend that shits in the sink and still like him.
I never did that.
You shit in the sink?
I'm coming up.
All right. Last question, Hunter.
We've got one more. I forgot.
This is a good one. When do you feel happiest? It's a good way to go out.
That is a good way to go out.
I feel happiest when I'm either these are almost equal, which is why I don't really want to pick between them. Spending time with my wife is the ultimate. Right underneath that, almost on the same level, is doing any kind of creative thing.
Yeah, I feel the same.
I was going to say for Hunter, the time he's happiest is when
Eating
he's eating
mom's deviled eggs.
his mom's deviled eggs and not Livy's deviled eggs.
Oh man.
Because Hunter's mom's deviled eggs are way better than Livy's deviled eggs.
You better never eat another deviled egg. There's no way you're getting out of this. I'd say the time
per Hunter, by the way. I have not tried either deviled egg.
He's really starting some shit.
Guys, it's fine because now that they think I hate both of them, all they do is make them for me all the time and go, "Are you sure?" And I have to eat them over and over again.
Shit, bring some down here. I love deviled eggs.
Fuck you.
And I don't care who makes them.
Yeah.
I'm happiest generally when I'm on my way to do like this podcast or a band practice or just to do one of the things that make me me.
Yeah.
Which could be just hanging out with a friend. Like I love being around people. I love my friends. Like anybody that knows, like we've bumped into each other or we've texted or had coffee together. Whatever. Like I love you guys. You keep me going, and that's the anticipation of getting to meet up with some some bros. That's probably when I'm at my happiest, you know. Or when I wake up and there's like 4 cats in the bed. That's awesome.
That is special. Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to close out with a story because I was at Starbucks, and I think one of you may know this person. I don't know if one of you know this person because I didn't catch their name. But I was at Starbucks over off Kingston Pike near Aldi's and Academy Sports, Salsaritas, whatever. And I was standing in line because the drive-thru was too long. And I had someone approach me and went, Beacon House, right? And I went,
oh, that's got to feel great.
And I went, yes. And they went, keep up the good work. And they left. They had their coffee and they left. And I went, but wait. Well, I mean, I said thank you. Like, I was like, I didn't just go, and they left. I was like, oh, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate that. And I did not catch their name. I did not recognize this person
right now.
What did they look like? Describe them.
It was a girl, brown hair, looked. I don't like it. Really, it just like it. You look like your standard college goer. Like she didn't like have like a mole or something. Like I don't know. I can't describe.
She didn't have a mole.
Well, I mean, it's like she didn't have anything distinctive that I can. I don't know. Now, if she is listening, she probably thinks I'm a terrible person.
Keep describing her. That's gonna be great.
But I just like at that point I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I really like that.
For whoever that was, I want you to know that no matter what Casey thinks, I think that you're a special snowflake and that there's no one else on earth like you.
Spencer doesn't believe that.
I don't mean it the way they mean it on social media.
Don't say snowflake.
Okay, you're an individual and you're very special and you have plenty of distinguishing characteristics. And if I saw you, I certainly would remember you.
Look, you know what? When it comes down these guys, don't let us yuck your yum.
That's
Thanks
right.
for listening.
Listen, when somebody comes to me and they're like, we need you to describe this person, we have a sketch artist, they would just get a stick figure. Like, there's no way I'd be able to describe details of a person.
It would just be like a hand holding $1.